picture. Okay? Shame on you, America. Calling them the boys' hate group in America, when we, as America has raped, murdered, made them property. God's children. You know what else the word for me? If you are Hebrew and you're watching, bless you. I'm praying for you. Those that are angry, I'm praying for you. Those that are hurting, I'm praying for you. Those that are reaching out, wondering, what does this mean? What do I do? I'm praying for you. And the Lord is coming back. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Vengeance is mine. Really about all this. Focus on me. Read my words. Listen to my word. Listen to my son. Listen to my son. Go back. Go back to the covenant. Come back into my arms. Listen. I love you.
For those who may not know, this class here is called, since we're going into what they call Black History Month, we're doing Black History according to the Bible. You know, people that are in schools, that's what they're going to hear. They're going to hear about, starting at 1619, when, you know, these, when the Atlantic slave trade happened. But black people don't start at 1619. Just like every other race, just say, I'm just using the United States. And the United States understands their origins. There's a lot of people understand that there are Irish, German, British, whatever, Native American. Black people, all they know is we were slaves. That's not the whole story. So we want to just kind of look at the whole story according to the Bible. So we pulled up, you know, I've been looking at some things for a few years now. And one of the things I put up was the video we just watched. We watched about 30 minutes of it. It's a lot more to that video. There's more videos out there. So don't just take my word on it. You can do your own investigation, and I would advise you to look into it further, because there's a lot of information that people need to know and understand. But for you who watch the video, I just want to give you an opportunity, you can just say, to be able to share and say something. Did you see anything that was interesting to you? Did you learn anything new? What did you think about the video? I will just leave it like that. Anybody?
Yeah, I have some pictures. I have something.
Go ahead.
That I saw. It's funny how, you know, people get to the point where this lost tribe that's was separated as they traveled over to Africa. And it's interesting how separations become that's outside like of what God's eyes are.
Right.
So something interested me with the Lambo people as they been part of the 12 tribes in that tradition of being separated, and the traditions that the Jews had, like with the dietary stuff and interacting with other people outside of that was disallowed. Just as so those Limbaugh tribe practiced those same Torah principles, if I'm saying it right.
Right.
But
hold on, so that everybody understands, The Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible. That is whenever you hear the word, the Hebrew Bible, that is the first 5 books of the Bible. That is called the Torah, or the Torah, and it is written in, really the Old Testament is, for the most part, is written in Hebrew. So when he said that, that's what he's referring to. Okay, so go ahead.
So I wrote down number of tradition related to interacting and mixing were forbidden according to God's words. His claim. That's what. So I went back and I said, even when the children of Israel was leaving Exodus, God had said something, and a lot of people would think that this who God is, and this is where I believe a lot of separations come because they don't understand or they don't get the concept that that's not the lens of God, like his eyes. So I say, well, how do I substantiate that? So back in Genesis, God had told the children of Israel back then, and there were other companies that left with them that was outside.
That was actually in Exodus, but we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
Don't get, I don't want, you're on top of it, but I don't want you to get too far. You're right. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else?
I thought it was interesting that DNA marker, CMH, that's really only found in the Middle East, it did not originate any kind of way from Africa. It was found in 50% of the Limba tribe, and only like 3 to 8% of those we call Jews.
Right.
I thought that was really interesting. And the Limba is over on the continent of Africa, but it did not originate there, so they, had come from.
Remember that. Okay, now do y'all have a pamphlet? Do y'all have a pamphlet? Okay, because if you have a pamphlet, I want you to go through there and look at, there's some questions in there. And the point you just brought up is a point I really need you to look at. Because I don't know if y'all noticed in the video, the people kept saying the so-called African American. Right. That's because the Hebrews didn't come from Africa. So to say that they are African is wrong. They were actually not in Africa. So for people that are not of African, that are in America, really is not African American. Because they're not from the continent of Africa. And the Limba people, who are very dark people like me, I'm saying they're not African, even though they look like me. Okay? See, this is how naive we are about race. And in fact, your mom will tell you. What's her friend, Akimba, and I joke about this because he says he's Ibu. Right, okay. And when he first said that, I didn't know who he was, but when he first said that, that's what made me go over and introduce myself, is because he made that statement. I say that because I had been working with this engineer who was on the construction site for a period of time, and we were talking about different things or whatever. And he came to me one day and he said, "You are Ibu." And I said, "What?" I'm like, "What you just called me?" But he said, "You are Ibu." And I said, "What's Ibu?" He said, "You are of the Ibu tribe." And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, I know you don't. He said, you blacks in America, y'all see black and white. He said, in Africa, we see tribes. He said, we can look at a person and tell you which tribe they're from. And you are Igbo, and if I was to send your picture back to Nigeria, they would tell you, you are Igbo, because the Igbos live in Nigeria right now, because, you know, they basically was on the wrong, the same thing kind of way. But the Igbos never embraced the Nigerian lifestyle. They kept saying they was from Jerusalem. Now, I'm saying that to say, my oldest daughter, she did a DNA test, one of them, what is it, the DNA, whatever? Yeah. And she did it, and she called me and she was like, because she was like, Dad, why don't you do a DNA test? I was like, girl, I ain't worried about that. She said, I did one, and they said that my bloodline go back to Nigeria. Igbo. So again, I'm bringing it back up to your point. This is something that a lot of people have not really understood, that they just say, even though DNA proves where people are from, they have kept that off the record. Because you got Ethiopians who came from Jerusalem. The Limbas, and even through DNA, and they said that their percentage are higher than anybody else's. Okay? So anyway, all right. Anybody else saw something new today? Go ahead. No, because I want us to talk, y'all. I don't want it just to be a lecture. I want us to be able to talk. So what else? Yeah.
You said that because I'm trying to distinguish, are you saying we're American Africans, you said, are not really Africans?
Okay, before I just say something, I'm going to let the information prove itself. I'm saying every dark person in America is not African. Okay. And I'm going to prove that. Now, and we're going to even show that a lot of the people from the Lemba tribe end up in the Caribbeans. A lot of them that ended up in Jamaica and Haiti and all of that were from Jerusalem that had exiled down.
So
and there's information on that too. But I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. But go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah. Look, the reason why I'm doing this is because sometimes people can get some information and then they end up stupid because they don't have the full information. My man laughing, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Yeah. So I want us to take it slow, y'all. We're gonna take it. We're gonna slow dance this thing through here, because I don't want us to just run out of here with some information and then you end up what I call full of race idolatry.
Good word.
Because there's a lot of people that have race idolatry. I'm saying white and black. And so their race is their God. whether they are white or black. I don't want you to come out of here with that. I want you to understand the truth. So I don't want you to just look, don't just jump on something and run. That's why my friends that came today, we're doing this for the next 3 weeks. So y'all come by, because we're going to keep this going. Because there's information that you need to really understand. And I'm saying this before you go into, again, I pray for these little ones and for the people who got kids in school, because they're not going to be taught. They're going to be taught 1619 is the invention of black people. That's not true. Anyway, somebody else got any more information on this, on the video? How many of y'all watch the video? Y'all like this? Okay. Okay. Anyway, but I want y'all to be able to take away something from this. And so, did anybody get anything else from the video that y'all might want to let's kind of share right here at the emphasis stage of it? I mean, yes.
Well, I have a question, but okay, so the statement about how every black person is not African American because it's based on DNA, right? Everybody's DNA has been switched up somewhere. Like you can have a black dad and a white mom. That don't necessarily make you, you know, it doesn't make you Hebrew. It's going to be based on the bloodline. So you can be light skinned, you can be white.
You can be, yes, you can. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what that statement kind of comes from. It's based on your DNA and your bloodline, not based on your I'm light skinned or I'm white or.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, and that's why I said I don't want us to come out of here thinking becoming race idolatry. Right. Where you think it is your race. Because I know a whole lot of people that got, even Tracy, my wife, she got people, they look white.
Ask Montel Williams, I'll tell you.
Huh?
Ask Montel Williams.
I'm telling you. I mean, straight hair, everything. So, to sit up and just say dark white is the criteria, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay? That's why we got to understand the whole picture. No. I just use her, but my mother, when and she was a twin. When they were born, I don't know if y'all knew this, but back in the day, when like some of the black kids was real light, they would look behind their ears. Y'all ever heard that? Huh?
Yeah, they do it about or they look right here.
Yeah, but because they had hazel eyes and straight hair. And so when they first was born, they was like, kick behind the ears. Because they looked like they could have went for white. Yeah, they call it, what they call it, mulattoes and all different type of that. Okay.
You said exotic.
My point is, so I don't want us to get it, when we think of Black History Month, don't get color in prison. Okay? Because you're going to find out it's a lot of stuff you didn't really understand. Okay? Anybody else before we move on?
I got a question.
Yes.
Are we going to address the Holocaust? Because, you know, the kids, they learn.
Eventually, yeah, eventually. We're not going to go too fast, but yeah, we're going to. But, okay, anybody else? All right. So, when you read the Bible, and I bring this up because a lot of people say, you know, I read the Bible 3 times. Let me tell y'all something. It's a difference between reading the Bible and studying the Bible. It's a totally different thing. Because there's a lot of things that just say, you may read even words that are difficult to pronounce, and we just read over them. You know, and there's things that are in there that we don't really pay any attention to. One, which I'm not going to really go back to, but if you, anyway, we'll move forward. The second, the other thing is this. The other thing is this. After Adam and Eve, based on the 4 rivers that was around the Garden of Eden, that was in Africa. And everybody agreed with it. It's not something I'm saying. Everybody has already agreed to that. Those 4 rivers are in Africa. After you read about Adam and Eve and all that, the fall and that happened, and then you go through and you read about like the people after Adam and Eve, you read more about how it'll say, and this person begot this person, and he lived 100 and this many years. And then this person begot this person. There's no real detailed information about their life. It's just who their offspring was, and usually about how long they lived. It don't really start getting into detail until you get to Noah. Because before then, you had a flood, and the flood basically restarted civilization. Okay? Yes?
Just before you go any further, the same why they live behind the ears.
It was dark back then.
Be darker.
It'll be a dark spot. Yeah.
And they Asian people that
Yeah. See, I'm old school. So I'm not understand. You young'uns, y'all don't know nothing about it. So anyway, so up here we have like different places where they show these 4 rivers that come together. The Tigris and Euphrates, because they've renamed a lot of rivers now, and we're gonna learn a lot about that. But it basically ended up in, but it was in that area. It was in Africa. All right, so move on. Let's go to this one. Yes. So we get to Noah. So I'm going to ask. I need 3 volunteers. How many people don't mind reading? Okay, we're at 1, 2, one more. Wait, King. You don't have King. All right. So who you want? I need one for Shem.
Never mind,
Shem. I need a reader for Shem.
Can I read for me, please?
Ham and Japheth. You got 2 under your belt? All right, come on, you sit on this side. So yeah. Okay. All right, good. All right, okay, I'm gonna get, okay. So, okay, we're gonna let you start off. We're gonna let you start off. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm gonna let you start off. So you're gonna end up with Japheth, and then we'll go to somebody else. We'll start at Japheth, and then you will. Okay, you'll end at 5. Okay. Read out loud. Read! Okay. That's the old preacher, right?
I'm gonna be there. I'm actually doing my study right now.
Huh? So you gonna need the money.
Actually, about
All right, buddy. All right, y'all.
I'm already doing my study.
Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and
Japheth or Japheth, yeah.
Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Mahab, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Eliash, and Tarshish, Kitam, and Donadim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families and their nations.
All right, good. Okay. Did anybody notice anything in what you just read? This is Japheth or Japheth. Japheth would represent the European group. This is where they would end up. The European group. I'm going to say this one more time. The European group. Did anybody notice anything about the sons of Japheth or Japheth? Yes.
Ashkenazi.
Huh?
Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi. Ashkenaz. What Ashkenaz? Do y'all know Ashkenaz? Or the people of Ashkenaz? Or Ashkenazi? Okay. I know. That's what we're getting ready to talk about. Again, these people would end up going north, out of Africa, into what is called now today Europe. Okay? Magog. What about Magog? Who is considered Magog? According to the word today. Earlier, right? All the people that went into what they call the European nation, right? It said, what this? Hey, let's read it together. By what?
By these were the isles of the Gentiles.
Hold up, what? Did y'all just read that? Huh? By these were what? The isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands. Every after his tongue, after his family, in their nations. It said, by these, by the people of Japheth, the ones who went to Europe, the Ashkenaz are what? Okay, hold up. Now that's a whole, that doesn't stop everything. Because how many of you all have been told you were Gentiles being brought in? This is King James. Let's go. Click to the next one for the Blue Letter Bible. No, it's up at the top. It's up at the top.
The tab. Click the tab at the top.
Yeah. Okay, now click strong. Hold on. Let me do this right quick. Now, I'm doing this on purpose. This is the Blue Letter Bible, so you can go to the Bible online, and then you can go to the Blue Letter Bible. The Blue Letter Bible have a concordance along with it. This is what I mean by it's one thing to read versus to study. So if you go to strong, hit strong. Strong's up at the top. Okay? So now you got these letters right there, right? Okay, so now go down to verse 5. Okay. Verse 5. Okay, you see that number next to that? You see what it said at 8? This is the Hebrew language. So this is going to give you the word in the Hebrew language, and it's going to give you the definition in the Hebrew language. Because the Old Testament is written in Hebrew. And the New Testament was written in Greek. Now you got some Arabic in there too, because Jesus spoke a lot of Arabic. We're going to get to that too. So the Ashkenaz, hit on that, that is H813. H813, click on H, click on that. Okay, this gives you the definition, okay, Ashkenaz. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, go back. Click back at the top. I want you to click on, gentile. I'm sorry, gentile. That's H. This is how I learned metanoia or metanoia versus repent. I went back to the Old Testament, and I went to the Concordian to look at it in the actual language. Okay, so this is the word believe. Go, come up, son. Keep going. Okay, now these are the definitions of that. What it's saying is, you got these different definitions. Nation of people, usually non-Hebrew, of the descendants of Abraham, of Israel. So, but one of the things is, the Gentiles was people who was non-Hebrew. And I'm bringing that one up because we're studying black history according to the Bible.
Amen.
But wasn't it accepted
After Christ.
after Christ?
Right. But remember, that's what I'm saying. Do y'all remember when the people in the video kept saying, I'm a Gentile? Y'all remember when they kept saying that? They kept saying, I'm a Gentile, and these were white folks who were saying, I'm a Gentile. We didn't know it. Because we was told we was allowed in. We was told that, through the grace of Christ, we was allowed in. Well, when you go back to the original writing, they tell you. But again, I bring this up because that's why I say, y'all, when you read the Bible, it's one thing. When you study the Bible, you see a whole different thing. It's different when you study. You start seeing things you didn't know was in there. All right. Okay, let's go back. Go back to the top. Let's go back to okay, so I need a reader now for what is this? I need verse 6. Verse 6. Who is that? Who is next? Is that the sons of Ham? Ham, scroll down, get in here, Babel. Oh God, keep going down. You got a long one. Keep going down. All right, keep going. Canaan, do the site there. Keep going down. Ham, sons, keep going. Okay, to 20. Okay.
And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Phut and Canaan.
Stop right there for a moment. Mizraim. Whenever you see this word Mizraim, that's Egypt. Cush is basically Ethiopia, Sudanese, all of that kind of stuff. Okay? All right, keep going.
And the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah, and Sabta, and Raymon, and Sabtaka, and the sons of Raymon, Sheba and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashur, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah. And Resen between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Ammonim, and Lehabim, and Naphtahim, and Patrasim, and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistin, and Caphtorah. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. And the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries and in their nations.
All right. Was there any names in there? Very interesting to you. Because this is Cush. This is Ham, which represents Africa. We done done Europe. Now we're in Africa. I gave you Mizraim, which is Egypt. Cush, you got Ethiopia and different other places. Is there any other names in there that's very interesting? Canaan. Canaan. Okay. What? Huh? Ham. That's right. He was the father of all of them. What else? Nimrod. Sodom and Gomorrah. This is Africa. Y'all remember this? Hey, what about name some? What about some other ones? You know what you're looking at? Huh? Because throughout the Old Testament, you will hear about these things over and over. Didn't we see Nineveh?
Yeah.
Nineveh, who built Nineveh? What about Nineveh? Who know anything about Nineveh?
Jonah.
Huh?
Jonah.
Jonah was sent to Nineveh.
Right.
What I'm saying is, Jonah was being sent to African people.
Mm-hmm.
We don't understand that when we read the Bible. God sent Jonah to turn Nineveh around. And when Jonah tried to retract, God sent him through his whirlwind of life. But this is Africans. And people say they don't see themselves in the Bible. That's because we read it religiously. We don't read it historically. It's in our face. And we don't know it. Anything else? What about this? What is this? 14 young.
And Patrasim and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistin.
What? Who is that?
Mighty giant people.
The mighty giant. Y'all didn't know he was a pastor? That's because we start at 16, 19. For our history. We don't know our history go much further than that.
That cuts the argument that the Bible is a white.
Who took this stuff out? Look, he's an idiot. And he left all of this stuff in. But God said not one jot or tittle will be changed. And you know what people are doing? They're chasing everybody else's books. And the book is in their face. They basically started the generations after the flood. You have Japheth, or Japheth, however you want to pronounce it, Ham and Shem. Ham was Africa, in the continent of Africa. Japheth was European, and Shem was Arabia, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so that y'all have y'all paperwork. You got a map. You got a map on your at the back page of your paperwork. Because what we're going to end up looking at is, we're not going to get all into it all today, but I want you to go back. I want you to do your research. I want y'all to come back and be like Tavia and say, you know what? No, I love it. No, I love it. But she's saying, you know what? Yeah, I looked at it, and look, I'm not telling her something she hadn't been running across. She's like my confirmation. So I didn't know she was looking it up, but you know what? That's good confirmation. That somebody else can say, you know what? I read it. I've been researching it, and that's true. Are you looking at your are you looking at your maps? Let me grab one of these. Okay. Let's do this. I know you probably weren't prepared to do this today, but pull up a map of Israel today. I want like a map of Israel, not an old one, a map of Israel. Map. Martin, okay, yeah, got it. Okay, yeah. Well, will they show the whole thing?
Just hit images and see what you okay, hit images.
Yeah. Okay. Click on this. Click on this. Yeah, okay. That's okay. Okay, y'all see this map? This is a map of Israel today. Do everybody see that? On your map, just say the one in the top left-hand corner. Do your map look like this one? Nope. Your map is 1931 to 723 to slide 587 BC. This is an old map. This is a new map. Do your map match that? Okay. The reason why your map don't match that one is because things got, Judah is missing. Okay, You looking at it. Huh?
So when people study it, I mean, when people learn that, like, you have to really go back and look for it.
You said, what did they do? No, I want her to understand what I just said. What did they do with Judah? You looking at it. I know. You looking at it. That's why they're not on here. And we're going to show this. We got a whole lot of information to prove this. But when you look at the map, see, if you study the Bible, there was a northern kingdom and there was a southern kingdom. The northern kingdom was Israel. The southern kingdom was Judah. The capital of the northern kingdom was Samaria. The capital of the southern kingdom was Jerusalem. Now, I don't care what your politics are. But let me tell you something. When Donald Trump moved the capital back to Jerusalem, was a huge problem. Because up until that point it had been in Tel Aviv, which is not even in the Bible at all. So he moved it back to Jerusalem. He moved it to, it's not on the map. The kingdom that it represents, they took the kingdom off the map. I'm not saying he knew what he was doing. I'm just saying he did it. And while people was fighting over their politics, they missed the truth. Boy, that girl is bad.
They didn't miss the truth. They wanted not to tell the truth.
That's what they would take these people down who were trying to talk about the conscious part of what Trump was really doing in America. And they didn't do their research on Biden, who grew up in politics, cheated twice.
Sure did.
So if Donald Trump is not a politics, he didn't want to be a puppet. I don't know if it went in 2024, but
All of it. All right. No. But the fact of the matter is true. When he did that, it revealed, hold up, where's the southern kingdom? Because it wasn't one capital of Israel. It was two. You had a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. And they're still lying about it to this day. And they get away doing that because the people who need to know who they are don't know who they are because they chase and follow who everybody else say they are instead of looking to the scriptures who tell them who they are. What I'm saying is this. For all the people who say this is a white man's religion, they haven't read or haven't studied the book.
Oh, they know. They know.
They say it, Frankie.
No, it's a lot of black folks.
It opens up too much stuff. It keep us down.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we get ready to wrap up. Yeah, we get ready to wrap up. Hold on.
Even
Hold on, thank you, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
They know. What the people who are saying it's a white man's religion is us, and we don't know. We don't.
That's
a lot
right.
of black people are saying that's a white man's Bible. I don't believe
And that's why they're chasing all of these what they call African religions, and they don't know what the Bible says.
Oh, that's true.
And that is far as I'm gonna just go right now.
Well, Pastor, that's why that's why stuff like this is good, you know, because what she just said, we don't even know the truth.
That's right.
No, that's the truth.
You
Yeah.
spread the truth if you can't deal with ignorant people if you don't know yourself.
How many times have y'all heard me say, the Bible is not a religious book, it's a historical book? And people look at me like, look, if you go through there and you chase the facts, you'll find out it's history. It's history. The problem they don't like is it's not their history. And I'm not just blaming white folks, because when I get when we get to looking at the whole Jewish thing, you're gonna realize why the Jews killed Jesus and who they were.
Oh my God. You've been set some people on fire.
It's about time.
That's why I keep saying, y'all, look, don't. You gotta understand. I don't want you to come out of here thinking your race make you superior.
That's right.
You fooling yourself.
Hey, Pastor, that was a young lady just asked about, she said something, we were talking about, she was talking about, don't get confused, let's use the word in racial.
Race idolatry.
Race idolatry, yeah. And she said, you know, you get light-skinned people and you talked about, the lady asked you about why black behind the ears. But skin color has to do with, where's she at? Skin color has to do with genetic makeup, melanin.
Right.
Right.
From both parents.
Right.
But bloodline is a different issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Bloodline, like a lot of people don't understand. I don't really like to say it, but because it's truth though. Bloodline don't start with the lady. So it's easy to determine bloodline. Because the only way to determine bloodline is through the father.
Through the father. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, so being family, see this is what the issue about earlier we talked about. They don't see family people don't see family in the lens of God. Like
Right.
we're talking about, you know, it ain't about skin color. And even some, you said the Jews got it wrong when they started to discriminate from a relative tribe.
I'm telling you, we're gonna cover. Believe me, I've been like this whole whoa, trying to hold y'all back because you want to take off. But I want us to get all of the information. Because again, a lot of times you hear people get up and they're just saying a lot of stuff that they don't understand or that it don't make sense. I want you, and that's why I did those sheets, because I want you to make your own notes so that you can read your notes and you can say, hey, you know what? I understand it because of this. Not because Pastor Wilson said it. Because we just looked through it. And like I said, it's a whole lot of black folks who have been saying for years that we were Gentiles and they let us come in.
Right.
Who told you that? Because it's not in the scripture. So we have to look. I preached about this last week. We got too many things that have been injected into the church that's not in the scripture. And we have been saying it. And we just been telling people and going along with it. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. When you go back and do the research, no, it's wrong. It's totally wrong. So yeah, Janaya, now you know what you did. That's why it's not on the map. All right, everybody fine? Amen. All right, y'all. So everybody, y'all know how we do it. Go to it, BB. Hope that they can tell them I love you. And there is nothing you can do about it.